Howdy dorks. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. It's Unchatter. It's time for Dwarf Fortress. It's time for finger wiggles. It's time for a cat to be MIA. I think Tofu's gonna show up. We'll see if she's, we'll see what kind of mood she's in when she does show up. Hello. Hello, everyone. Hello, Orion. Hello, JM. Hello, Barely Creative. It is definitely something o'clock. It is definitely fantasy creature o'clock. I am definitely running on polar bear time. I don't know about you, but I am feeling like I missed a hibernation or two. That's about where I'm at right now. Hello, Mint Yogi. How's it going? Welcome in, everyone. Today should be interesting. I think, fingers crossed, we should be able to acquire the last color of Gem Window. Fingers crossed. We have very little control over it. We're going to keep digging. It can be, this color could be literally anywhere, in any kind of stone. It could also appear on a trade caravan. We have requested a couple different caravans to bring the colors we were missing, and we're down to like missing literally just one color. So I'm hoping that we either find it in the ground or we are able to trade it, and we'll complete that. We did have a little bit of a discussion in Discord about how colors work. So I think we are going to make some adjustments to our color palette. And then if we can get that all settled and find the last color, then that will be done. Then we will be settled with that whole project. I hear a cat meowing. Which means, and in the meantime, I think we can make some decisions about the actual reason we were doing all this. We were putting down some cosmetic window things in our vault, but now we have all the colors. We have all the colors except for like a dark brown. I think it's literally dark brown is the color we're missing, and I'm not going to want that color for any of the flags that we're doing. We have other browns if we need a brown. There's plenty of browns. So I think we can make decisions about those kinds of things and finish the vault, finish beautifying our vault. So that would be cool. We can also, we have a big old pile of adamantine wafers. A big old pile. The biggest pile of processed but unused adamantine I have ever had in this video game. So we're going to use it. We're going to make some polar bear sized adamantine armor. We're going to get our legendary armor crafter going on that. We might even, maybe we'll even like melt them down and recycle them until we like get masterworks for everything. But I mean, you lose a little bit when you do that. That is an interesting thought. Make sure we have the bear pride flag. True. I think even with missing a brown, I think we're we could probably still do that. Is it the final day? Probably not. Of this fortress? Probably not. We are getting awfully close. The main we're finishing off all the things that I wanted to do, but I do like there's still a bug, right? There's still kind of a mysterious, potentially disruptive bug. I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna take our time. We're not gonna rush it. We're patient here. Yeah, we'll be in here for a little bit longer, I think. Oh, and the other thing, I want to at least be here long enough to see the King pass of old age, and that might happen today. Actually, I think he's in his. He might be in his last year. Because kobolds don't live as long as dwarves. So that'll be interesting. I do at least want to be here for that, but that could be very shortly. And we'll see what else kind of trouble we can get into. There is a whole second candy vein that we haven't touched yet. If we were really ambitious, there's a whole nother one. Oh, and then the other thing I want to do, I guess I do have one cosmetic project I want to do past that. So we'll talk about that. Yeah, we have more. We got plenty to do here. We're not done here. Today's episode is brought to you by Windows Into the Soul and by viewers like you. Clicking on all the buttons down there, clicking on hanging out live, hanging out in Discord, hanging out in VODs, where you want to hang out. Open the blinds, get some sun, please. Especially this time of year in this hemisphere. Be near a window every once in a while. That's pretty good. But yeah, we're gonna hop over here. Look at that. Look at our big ol' palette here. Looking pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and unpause. Well, I guess this is the bug that I'm talking about, like the missing Nemesis records. No units on the map are missing. That's interesting. I don't think it said that before. I know that Putnam is aware of this situation and has been for a good bit. So I'm kind of expecting a bug fix patch, whether or not it addresses that. I'm expecting there to be a bug fix patch someday. I don't know, we're due for one. So I at least want to wait until we have a little bit more clarity on what that means, because it is very mysterious to everyone, before we go about doing things that might, like, disrupt our world, right? Because we got a lot of cool stuff going on in this world, and I don't want things to just get bugged out of existence if we can prevent it, right? So that's the main deal. About to go to the airport. Fun. Airports sure are fun. Okay, we also have someone working on a mysterious construction here. That's, oh, you stole some of the lay pewter and some rough topazes. Okay, that's fine. We only had to trade for those. Leather and, oh, wait a minute. How? You grabbed an adamantine? Are you serious? I have it all locked away. I've been forbidding the wafers as we've been making them. I guess we've made a couple more. We're up to 40. We're up to 40, and of course now I don't want to lock you while you're... I guess, does that screw you up? Did I just screw you up? I might have just screwed you up. Well, we'll see what happens there. But we got a lot. We got quite a bit of adamantine. I'm gonna leave that one unforbidden. I know that interesting. I want to make sure they get used for what we want to use them for. Because they're a little hard to get. We did put in a little bit of effort for that. There it goes. Okay, so it got reincorporated. So that's fine. That is fine. You can have that one. We'll still have 39 wafers available to us. But speaking of the adamantine wafers, right? We have armor bolts. We have one legendary and one high master. I'm gonna say, actually, let's do it like this. I'm gonna say that this forge in particular is going to be restricted to... Oh, there's a cat in my closet. Eat, our legendary armorsmith and weaponsmith. This is going to be your private forge, your private magma forge here. And then I'm going to assign those jobs to this forge specifically. Nope, can I not? Can I not type? Is my keyboard works? Strange. More worried about being the right person I need to be at the end of the trip. That's fair. Definitely understand that. Oh, there it goes. What is happening here? Why is it being so weird? Okay. Call this Legend to Forge. There we go. So I want to start with a breastplate, which requires 3 bars, which is 9 wafers, right? So a quarter of our wafers are going to go into 1 piece of armor. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'm going to say, create for me An adamantine breastplate. Going to be sized for polar bear men. That is a high priority. I want this going while we work on other stuff. Okay, so that'll... So I left the other person as a person, right? But now it's only one person is allowed to do it. Oh, interesting. Assigned to a specific workshop. I've never actually done that before. I've never actually assigned a person to a workshop. I didn't realize it shows up that way. That's cool. It appears that it's going to be going. So we'll let that go. We'll keep an eye on it. You are working on your mysterious construction. Oh, and someone did grab the adamantine from you. Interesting. So I did break that. I did remove the adamantine from the strange mood, which may or may not be a positive thing. It at least conserves the adamantine. How is everyone? I'm also curious how you all are. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm doing okay. I am slightly overwhelmed. Not the least of which because there's a cat. There's two cats playing in the closet. Not gonna worry about it. Yay, Salo the Miller has created Uppers Liru, an avocado wood earring. Hooray! Okay, I guess I'm glad that it does not have adamantine in it. Let's go put it in our vault real quick. Right, we're up to here in our artifacts. Covering from which fun trip? You did have a fun trip, didn't you? That was New Orleans. How was New Orleans? If that's the trip we're talking about. Avocado wood. Earrings. Avocado wood earring. Perfect. Okay. Oh, I guess I want to look at it. Worth 14 grand. That's not bad, honestly, for wooden earrings. Encrusted with baguette cut morions and encircled with bands of avocado wood, adorned with hanging rings of walnut wood and topaz, menaces with spikes of saguaro ribwood, lay pewter gypsum, and a giant polar bear leather. An image of Ola Nutswaved, the elf, relates to the journey of Ola to the blizzards of embracing in the late summer of 56, during the second journey of the elf Ola Nutswaved. That one time, that one elf came here and trained that one polar bear. The event that shows up on every single one of our artifacts, as is tradition. Okay, so now I want to go up here. I did get some input about our palette here. I haven't done a whole lot of processing it. So I kind of want to take a look with all of y'all and see what we think. Yeah, New Orleans, food was incredible, and I spent some wonderful time with my people. Excellent. That's always good. I imagine they have really good food. I would definitely go there for the food. What was the favorite thing you ate? Orleans, and then across the lake to a small outer town. Excellent. Yeah, no, I have no knowledge of the area, so I couldn't tell you what is even around New Orleans. Okay. Let's take a look. One thing that we were talking about was the color azure, which is this one right here. JM, your thought was that it's basically silver, which I don't disagree with. But I think and then Z recommended. I think I'm gonna go with Z's thought. Visually, it is definitely pretty light on the blue, but it is azure, right? It is the color azure. Ostensibly, it's supposed to be blue, so I think it might be more useful in this context to keep it grouped with the blues. I think I'm gonna move it over here so that it's with the blues, so that you can easily see that, yes, this is supposed to be kind of a blue color, but it's not really blue, as opposed to putting it over here, and then you trying to kind of like imagine if it's kind of blue. Does that make sense? That's kind of my thought. Water mainly, that's fair. There's a lot of water out there. Had some jambalaya from a hole in the wall that my friend recommended that blew my socks off. Excellent. Holes in the walls that you've never heard of are the best, right? Some of my favorite meals have been from places that I've never heard of before. That's cool. I don't know that I've had jambalaya. I know I've had like gumbo. I know I've had like crab boils. Oddly enough, in Colorado, there was a restaurant in the town we were in that did Cajun crab boil, which became one of our favorite things. It is not known as like a Colorado type thing, but I think we have just enough of those people in that area that it just kind of shows up, right? It's more rice. Oh, gotcha. That makes sense. That whole flavor profile, like gumbo is interesting. Like I don't particularly like okra on its own, but my impression is no one really likes just okra, right? It's just kind of slimy. But then when you prepare it right and it's in something, then it just like adds a dimension to it. I think that's kind of cool. Okay, I do want to keep a relatively close eye on our forging situation here. Oh, did it happen? Yeah, okay, so it's, well, it showed up in here very quickly. Of course, it is finely crafted, but is not... It's worth 3,600 on its own. What is the... So some different kinds of material... not materials, but different kinds of items return different portions of their materials back when you smelt them, or when you melt them down. Melting. Melting armor pieces that are made of metals can be melted to regain bars. See the article for full information. So efficiency. So a breastplate is 90% efficient. So you get 2.7 bars on return. Do we melt this down? Of course, the breastplate is by far the most material intensive part, right? A mail shirt would take 2, a greaves take 2, everything else takes 1. So I think what we're gonna do, I'm gonna like display these, right? I want to make sure that they're in a specific spot. So I'm gonna put this over here for the moment. I might decide to melt it down and try again at some point, but at the moment, we're just gonna call it good. So it's just gonna go right there. And then if I look at my bars, we are down to 31, so that makes perfect sense. And there's that one that we stole from the Strange Mood. So I'm gonna say, I do want to do greaves. So I'll unlock 6 of them. And then we'll come over here where we'll say armor, adamantine, greaves, size for a polar bear men, and go do it. feel really sad, and I'm not sure why. Just sometimes it goes that way, doesn't it? It's true. Oh, hey, the humans are here. I've definitely been... world weary? Is maybe the best way to describe it. Is this our bear? This is our bear. We just have a bear wandering around out here. I don't know, just... it's hard not to feel down when the world is so chaotic. That's my feeling right now. Okay, so if we're moving Azure over to here, I'm gonna stay unpaused. Actually, do we have... I think we have a bunch of stuff. Yeah, we have a bunch of people digging. Our miners are mining, so I'm gonna let them go. The other thing that Z was saying was that green-yellow, which is this one, should go in the greens over here. That's mostly because, like, these are both kind of orange, right? I am told. I'm told that these are both kind of orange and this one isn't. So I'm thinking green-yellow goes to live with the greens, which would put rust and pumpkin next to each other, which makes sense to me. JM, you were saying that the grays could be arranged. So you would do white on top. Cat, oh, hold on. A little better. The middle one, there's one in the middle of the 5 is not in the right place. I guess who's shiny? She is shiny, especially compared to tofu. Speak of the devil. Something about black coats really show up with the light. Are you gonna... Okay. Diplomacy! I do want to tell the humans, I'm gonna tell them to bring more of our last color, right? Because they might have some right now, but I don't want to risk it. So I'm gonna go down to small cut gems. We're looking for wood opal. And then I'm also gonna tell them that I want all of their expensive meats, because that's been our strategy. That's it. That's all I care about from the humans. And we're gonna move some goods to the trade depot. Look at that, 4 grand? What's in here? Is this just a ton of bracelets? Oh, there is 1 native gold bracelet. Interesting. Still not quite sure how they're pulling that off. That is mostly just a bunch of crafts. Okay, we're gonna bring the 1 bin, request our broker, call it good. So yeah, speaking of the grayscales, maybe we'll start with this, right? I know what I want to do over here. So I'm going to disassemble the sapphire and these 3. We'll start with that. Speaking of grayscale, so you were saying, so you wanted Azure over here, but I think Azure makes sense over here just for clarity. So white, silver's this one, clear is this one. This one's gray. White, silver, clear, gray, black. I think I agree. So gray and black are going to stay where they are. But then these three are all going to shuffle around. Or even silver is actually going to stay where it is. So we're just going to swap white and clear. Actually, I want to say that I swapped those before. So whatever. That is fine. And I'm going to keep track of that in my little sheet over here. Right, I'm just going to swap white with clear. And then we'll call that column good. And then the way you were saying humans really reminds me of the way apes say it in the Simpsons musical Planet of the Apes. I don't recall that. Whenever I'm thinking of the word human, I'm thinking of Star Trek. Was it the oh, what are they? Is it the Romulans? Like a human? That lives in my head for forevermore. Ferengi? Oh, that could be. I want to say it was one of the baddie races. Not that anyone ever stays a baddie for very long, but Ferengi are just like weird little dudes. The Romulans were like a bad guy for a while. I want to say it was the Romulans. Uman. How is Ferengi? Okay, Google says Ferengi. Humans. I mean, it's just great. It's just fun to say. Help, the human is about to escape. Get your paws off me, you dirty ape. Yes. The lizard's about to escape. I'm just a little guy. Let me out of here. Oh, our broker isn't here. That's what's going on. In TNG, they were mean little gremlins for a bit. True. True, but Ferengi are more like capitalist douchebags than warmongering invaders, right? Like there's a difference between like a Klingon and a Ferengi, or a Romulan and a Ferengi. Ferengi are like goblins in Dwarf Fortress, right? You shouldn't trust them, but you also shouldn't judge individuals based on how they all behave, right? I mean, I guess that's true for everyone, but I don't know. I'd be more hesitant about being friends with a Romulan than a Ferengi. At least with a Ferengi, you know where you stand, right? A Ferengi won't surprise you. Ferengi will operate exactly as you expect them to. Unless we're talking about the one... So I still haven't watched a lot of Deep Space Nine, which I'm told is like one of the best ones. Hey, look, more aluminum. Wood opal! There we go. But there's a specific Ferengi character in Deep Space Nine, right? Who turns out to be like really heartwarming, and we all kind of come around to liking him. I forget his name, but I know that that's a character. Another wood opal. If we could just get 3 wood opals, oh my gosh. Perfect. There's even a 4th one. Okay, do I need any of these others? Like 3 wood opals is fantastic. I want to say there's a couple of other gem types that we haven't had. We don't have like 3 of them, right? I think we should be good on sunstone. Maybe we'll trade for this, and we'll see. Oh, I should select their meat as well. I'll go double check and see if there's more that we want. But we did it. We can get the color. That's the main thing that I care about right now. 100? Giraffe tripe for 100? There you are. I guess I'm gonna like potentially trade this whole bin for a big stack of meat. Like, we do have plenty of... I guess we've used a bunch of our meat. We butchered a bunch of polar bears recently, but we're probably already cooking them into meals. I just don't want to run out of our really nice meals. I have a hunch that between the quality of the meals and the constant waterfalls, our fortress is a bit happier than it realistically should be. Let's see if we can get away with this trade. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. Hooray, wood opal! Cause for celebration. That is 54 out of 54. I'm gonna assume that it goes at the bottom of the browns. I believe it is literally called dark brown. It is called dark brown. So I'm gonna plop it at the bottom of that column and see what happens. Right, I'm just gonna put it right here. Wood opals! I guess I need to wait for the third one to show up. But here, we're gonna go... Here is going to be... sapphire. Wow, they're both just squished in there, aren't they? Oh, whoop, whoop, whoop. This is sapphire. Sapphires are blue, right? I mean, I think that at least makes sense. That at least tracks. This is star sapphire. Come on, there we go. This is blue diamond. This is indigo. We'll say that that's good, and then I'm gonna put the white. The white goes at the top, right? White chalcedony and clear tourmaline. Okay. And now let's check how our armor is going. We do have exceptional large adamantine greaves. That's pretty good. That's one step shy of masterwork. Not gonna complain about that. There it is. Okay, we're gonna plop this down. We're going to have an absolute juggernaut. There we go. And then from there, do we want a mail shirt or do we want to go for like full coverage first? Because we have a chest plate. Even like an adamantine chest plate with a steel mail shirt would be amazing. Would be very, very good. Where am I? Here we are. So I think helm, boots, and gauntlets. I think that's gonna put us in pretty good shape here. Here's where I want to be. So I'm gonna go to adamantine. We're already down to 25 bars though. So if I say a helm takes 3, gauntlets take 3, boots take 3. That is all, like that leaves a good chunk left. Shields do not need to be made out of adamantine. Actually, it'd be probably be counterproductive to make a shield out of adamantine. Because the only time the material of a shield matters is when you're using it as a weapon, and it being light, it's not good for a blunt weapon. So we're like a wood shield. Adamantine breast, adamantine armor, divine metal axe, wooden shield. Totally fine. Absolutely fine. So let's go. I'm gonna do all three of these at once here. Adamantine helm. Adamantine high boots. And adamantine gauntlets. All three of these are sized for polar bear people. Pair of large, pair of large. Yeah, cool. Get to work on that, please. Hello, Juxwing. How's it going? We're doing good stuff here. Let's go back up here. Can we make our wood opal yet? We can. There we are. 3 wood opals. Excellent. We'll see how that looks. But then that leaves the middle bits, right? We did get some feedback in the Discord. I want to take a look at this. I don't know if I want to get all my information up at the same time. It doesn't quite work that way. So my purples, I have lilac, heliotrope, purple, no, amethyst, lilac, heliotrope, purple, violet, fuchsia. And they were saying to like flip lilac and amethyst and heliotrope and purple. And those colors look so dang similar, I cannot I cannot judge. It's like these two and these two. Should those be switched around at all, in your opinion? In each of your individual opinions? Or does this row, or column rather, does this column look fine how it is? To me, these two are identical and these two are identical. So if they're different to some degree, then it's hidden from me. And then the greens are kind of all over the place. We were saying that we want to have the green yellow go over here. I do think I agree with that. So oh yeah, right, I have green yellow in the yellows. I'm gonna remove Demantoid. And I'm gonna move that over. And we were saying below chartreuse. So I mean to go like right here. We also do, I mean, how much of the rest of this is in a decent order? Maybe the second set should be switched, but it's not glaringly wrong on me. Okay. I'm glad it's not that wrong, if it is. I mean, even the other thing we can do is kind of go by their names, right? So amethyst, lilac, heliotrope, purple, violet, fuchsia. So I'm not a whole lot of information there, right? I think maybe let's swap the second set, but leave the first. I think I'm okay with that. So swapping heliotrope and purple. Right, lavender, jade, and purple spinel. I think I'm okay with that. So let's do here. Put that there. I'm being very diligent about my record keeping here. And then we'll call that the purple list. And of course, because I removed one, I do have to redo the entire column. But that is fine. We can do that. I should also check if there's anything that we don't have 3 of at this point. But those are all fine. Those are all fine. Okay. So we were saying the green-yellow goes below chartreuse. I'm gonna start by doing that. Is there anything in the green column that doesn't belong in the green column? Maybe that's the first question. You're laughing about that. I'd have lost my mind over it by this point. If this was just me on my own, I would have lost my mind. The fact that I have all of you to help me and to make it amusing, right? Like if it's just me suffering on my own is not amusing, but suffering in front of people is more amusing. I do think this looks better. What do we think about our grays now? I do think that looks better. I'd say all the greens are green. I would agree, the greens are green. With the possible exception of aquamarine, which is like very nearly blue. It's mostly green, but it's so pale. It's so dang pale. The grays look great. Great. Gray. This does look a little funny, but I'm gonna leave it. It's supposed to be blue. It's sapphire. It's supposed to be blue. It's gonna live with the blues. I am decreeing that one. Okay, so the suggestion I got in Discord for the greens, shuffled them all around. They were saying moss green, which is this one, should go at the top. Which I agree that moss green is like the brightest, but is not. I was kind of going from like, trying to go from like palest to least pale, or lightest to darkest, which is folly, of course, in this kind of a situation. Oh, we're smelting platinum. We're apparently finding platinum. We got masterpiece adamantine high boots. Oh my gosh. That's a good sign. Okay. So footwear, a pair of large adamantine high boots, masterwork. And then handwear, we got exceptional again. And then headwear, we got exceptional. Wow. So far, everything except our breastplate is dang near perfect. So I'm gonna plop those up here. Eventually. Dup, 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 dup. Wow, they're actually both just chilling up there. Heck is like on top of tofu. And tofu is just sleeping. I'll help. I am colorblind in green-red and have mistaken purple for blue many times. Whatever you do, I see no difference. Look at my beautiful pink doggy. Hello, welcome in, Meantid. I'm also colorblind. That's the reason for the conversation. So I've just been taking input from people. The goal here is to have this be a reference on the wiki. So I'm just trying to make it coherent and useful in that sense. But I am also curious about opinions from other colorblind people, because there will be plenty of other colorblind people looking at this information on the wiki, and ideally it would make sense to them too. As much as anything can ever make sense to us. So boots are gonna go there. I do like the doggy. Colorblind leading the colorblind. It's true. Also, did you know that basically everyone, or like the vast majority of people who are colorblind in some way, are red-green colorblind? Because there's two different ways to be red-green colorblind, and both of those are the more common versions of colorblindness. Exceptional helm. And then the gloves. Do I try again on the breastplate? If we could get a exceptional or masterwork breastplate, it really would complete the set. Everything else is at least exceptional. Oh, that is tempting. We do have some extra to play with. Oh, did we not need? Did we not need 3 of these? Interesting. Interesting. Those should have taken 3 apiece. And we're not producing any more right now. Right? We don't have thread. Yeah, we don't have any thread right now. We've processed it all. Interesting. Nope, I want to be up here. I should probably put a hotkey for here, since we're just gonna be here all the time. Okay. The color green. I do think moss green does seem kind of out of place. But I don't know that up at the top is where it belongs. I do think... So chartreuse green and then dark green down here at the bottom. So this is green green. Creosote barrel is chartreuse. So I think that stays the same, and then we slot our green yellow in there. And then they have olive, emerald, and jade. I have olive, emerald, and jade, but in a different order. So these 3, I guess, just swapping olive and jade. Right? Yeah, swapping these 2? I think that makes sense. I'm okay with that one. Let's swap. Gonna swap chartreuse, or no, jade and olive, right? That's what I just said? Jade and olive. We're gonna swap jade and olive. And then I think that's fine for that. And then the top half here... Moss green and mint green moved up to the top. But I don't know about that. Now I'm getting lost. Smoky quartz is olive. So Prace is spring green. They're saying put turquoise down here by spring green. I think that makes sense, actually. Let's Spring green and turquoise do seem quite close. Right, this one and this one. I think I do like that. So if I take, so because I'm gonna take, I want turquoise to go down. I'm gonna take those two and go up, and then this like this. So that would say aquamarine, sea green, mint green, which is this one. Then this one will go down. And then mint green and moss green. So moss and mint. These two are kind of the weird ones. To me, mint, which is this one, right? Aventurine is mint. To me, mint belongs maybe down with spring green? And then maybe moss green goes higher up. I'd help, but I'm the ADHD leading the ADHD, so I can't nail my jello brain to the tree if I tried. That's fair. It can make sense, but I still can't see it during physical or military service. I got the first one right. The second circle was already not able to see. The guy noting the results said that both should be equally difficult, yeah. Colorblindness is weird. Yeah, I knew from... I've been told from a young age that I'm colorblind. Because blues and purples are really difficult. Oh, we got some migrants. Oh, I missed some migrants. We've been killing a lot of miners recently, so that's nice. They've already gotten inside, so I don't know which ones they are. There's a way, isn't there a way to do this? List waves. We just got 2 units. Darlol and Esserol, a beekeeper and a leather worker. Hooray. Right, summer of 175? Yeah, we just got 2 migrants. I made that drawing, white fluffy clouds in a purple sky. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The time that my mom figured out that I was colorblind was, like, she told me to go, like, pick out an outfit. And I picked a blue shirt and purple pants, essentially. Like, they were like, I don't know, it was really small. They were like pajama bottoms, I think. But I was like, these match. And she was like, no, they don't. Okay. The humans are leaving, but that's fine. The people are sparring. We're striking more gems. So at this point, we're just mining for gems at this point. We have all the colors. We have all the colors. Oh, and then our dark brown here. How do we feel about this? I almost might swap these two. This is taupe dark versus dark brown. I don't know, what do we think? Should these two be flopped? I'm also thinking... I think I like aquamarine at the top. I think sea green belongs up here. I wonder, maybe I just bring spring green up here. I think I'm going to try that. I'm going to put spring green after sea green. It's getting all shuffled around. So it'd be aquamarine, sea green, spring green, mint green, moss green, turquoise, jade, emerald, olive, chartreuse, green, yellow, green, dark green. That's at least satisfying in the sense that all of the word green colors all go right together. So maybe that's how we know that it's correct. I believe I'm gonna have to, I guess I'm leaving aquamarine is staying where it is, bloodstone is staying where it is, and then everything else is gonna move. I think moss green might still be slightly out of place, but I don't know that there's a place where it really goes. Okay, and then we can put the purples back down. This is amethyst and morganite and purple spinel and lavender jade and violet spessartine. Gem names are all so fun to say. I don't know how to pronounce this one right. Kunzite? Kunzite? That's not one I've heard of before. Okay, and then we have all the greens are going to be disassembled, so we'll put them all back. And then for yellows, the yellows don't seem too bad to me. I do think that the yellow is way more yellow than everything else, but I don't know if it makes more sense anywhere else. And these three colors are straight up identical. This is what? This is golden yellow, saffron, goldenrod. These three are the same. These three they're just the same. I think if anything, I would put yellow up at the top and then keep everything else in the same order. I don't know what else I would do there. Okay, so I want to do praise. The praise is right. Aventurine. Moss opal, which I'm gonna wait for these other ones to show up in our stash. I don't know. Oh, and this one also needs to be deconstructed. Turquoise. Right, because I did aquamarine, sea green, spring green, moss green. Know what I do? Aquamarine, bloodstone, praise, aventurine, moss opal, turquoise. Okay, I think I did it right. Goldenrod is a city. That most colors are probably a city. I bet you could find a city named most color names, because there's a bunch of towns out there. I know there's a lavender town. Maybe that doesn't count though. Is that right? Losing track of myself. Parasites. And then emeralds. And then smoky quartz. We have 100 smoky quartzes. Chrysoberyls. And then demantoid. And then that needs to go away. And then green diamond. And then the green glass. I'll wait for that. Yes, I think I went to Lavender Town as a kid. Tons of funny, fuzzy things there, yeah. Yeah, everyone goes to Lavender Town as an 8-year-old, right? Lots of sights to see there. For the moment, I'm just gonna take Sunstone and bring it up. And see if we really care about the rest. Goldenrod is where I go to get my Evia haircut. Oh yeah, perfect. Some of these towns have really good gems, is what I've heard. I don't work out much, but people always talk about their gems. Construction of certain goods. Oh, our clan leader wants a bronze statue in the dining room? Have I even made any bronze? Do I have any bronze? I don't think I have any bronze. We might have melted some bronze. We have 3 bronze bars. That's enough for a statue. One bronze statue, please. We could even specify what we want. I never really bother specifying images. Yeah, it's fine. And then reds. Reds are mostly a mystery to me. Because I do see some inconsistency, but I don't know. Like, this one feels out of place, but I don't know where it would go. As hard as mahogany. Is mahogany brown? Should this one go with the browns as opposed to the reds? Maybe that's why it looks out of place. I think it's the moss opal that I need. Yeah. I do only have 2 moss opals. Okay, so I'm gonna say, I'm gonna do the 2 moss opals and then something obviously different color. So if it's wrong for real. I think that worked. And then the green glass gems. And then the sunstone. Perfect. I think mahogany might be a brown. I think it would go like here. These 4 reds are the same. These 4 are the same. These 2 are the same, and this one's barely different. If I don't hear any objections, that's gonna be what I go with. I'm looking at my suggestions here. I do think pearl belongs to the top here. They're all so dang the same. I'm gonna try just bringing mahogany over here and seeing what that does on its own. We're gonna try it. Take mahogany. Take these two and go down. Oop. Or should these two be swapped as well? That is quite hard to say. I mean, this one does seem kind of darker. I am going to swap them. So it's going to go mahogany, dark brown, taupe dark. Or brown, mahogany, dark brown, taupe dark. I think that makes sense. I do think I think the flax is kind of out of place. I almost feel like flax should be a yellow. Should flax be with the yellows? Should flax go like over here? And then as far as the rest of these go, I think I'm gonna leave the rest of the reds. You don't know anymore? Good. We're all on the same page. I've melted all your brains with colors. Now you all know my pain. I'm okay with this. I think I'm gonna go with my gut. I'm gonna say flax goes with the yellows. I think it's gonna go at the top even. This was your ploy? Yes, exactly. Exactly. I mean, we could even test it out, right? What if I go? Because I have more wax opals. Oh, look! The goblins have arrived! Hooray! 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 A vile force of darkness has arrived. The army is commanded by the troll Ratad Doctrine Scald. Beware the elite goblin lashers. With them come monstrous siege engines and a war cave dragon from the dark goblin fortress of Tear-Hated. Excellent. Excellent. I'm gonna drop a save. Because we've had things get weird. Wow, the goblins want more. The goblins haven't given up on us. Where'd Tofu go? Didn't catch her running off. So do we think we can get our siege engines to work properly this time? It'd be super cool if they just worked. Okay. Okie dokie. Do we have any random kobolds out here looking to get murdered? It does not look like it. There's a random bear out here. 14 children. You're probably the pet of someone who has died, is my guess here. Pet of Zraki? I guess I can even do this. I can go relations? Or is owner not a relation? Owner's not a relation. No, there you are. Zraki. Yeah, you do have a war giant polar bear. Okay. So, I went to inspect my burrows again, because that seems to be the thing that was getting us tripped up last time. I want to make sure all of this is accessible to our people. They're not going to go out that way. This isn't really safe, but it's not dangerous either. I'm just going to go like this. Transcolors? Oh yeah, this is kind of transcolors. That was not on purpose. These were randomly assigned colors. These tunnels are for our siege engineers to reach the siege engines. Oh yeah, and we have this new spot up here too. Oh, we have a new emplacement to test out. Oh, that's fun. Maybe I need the walls to be in there as well. Maybe that's the... I don't know why that would be an issue, but we'll fix it if that is. Okay, and then up here, yep, that should all be fine. Okay. Going to enable the civilian alert. I think. I want to close this door. And then I'm going to tell them to operate a handful of these. Honestly, it kind of seemed like changing their status while paused was the issue. So no operator. Like if they're definitely not here to parlay, so they're not gonna hesitate. But if I do like this, I just want to make sure that people at least get assigned. Yeah, I want them to... We have so many siege operators. Right? Siege operators. We have so many siege operators. I need them to actually operate the siege. So the two of you are fine. And then I'm going to have some people come down here as well. And then up here. And then down here in our tunnel, I want you as well. And then I'm going to take our melee squads. There's going to be stationed right here in our checkpoint. And then everything else should be fine. As long as they get on the emplacements, as long as they man the stations, or bold the stations. Operator assigned. Okay, that's a good sign. That's a good sign. Let's see what happens here. It's definitely gonna take them a moment to like respond, but they're still crawling onto the map here. There's even a siege engine operation demonstration happening in the siege guild hall as we speak, which is exactly what I wanted. Of course, they didn't take the jobs. Of course, they're in the middle of a task, so they're not gonna like drop what they're doing and get on a siege engine. But if we go like this, yeah, there's a bunch of people that have fire bolt thrower assigned. Okay. Okay. Let's cross our fingers. Let's cross our fingers. I told this to get closed, right? Okay. Hang on to your butts. It's always scary. There's probably a couple of hidden squads. I'm guessing there's like a hidden squad in here. Okay, lads, this is how you launch a ballista. Gabby, jump in. A kobold bolt? I could see kobolds launching kobold bolts. Yeah, there's some. Okay, and you are immediately firing. Okay, so these two appear to be going for it. Or at least the one. Yeah, and the door's closed. Oh my gosh. Okay, we might get... Oh yes. Oh, but see, they're firing in. I don't understand what allows them to fire in through my fortification sometimes. Cause that's bad. That's a dead kobold. Why do they... That seems inconsistent. I don't know why sometimes they can and sometimes they can't. Oh, look at that. Ooh. That's gonna be a nice surprise for someone if they try to go around the other way. I like to think kobolds have a zest for trying new things. Definitely. Kobolds are definitely a no stupid ideas kind of people. Especially ones that might last things. Or blast things. Yeah. The more dramatically bad of an idea is, the more excited a group of kobolds will be about it. Okay, I mean, this is beautiful. That's just some murder. But see, they're not firing in at this one. And now they're gonna try to go around the other way. Yeah, oh, look at that. Are we firing up? Oh, that's brilliant. I didn't even think of that. That's fantastic. Oh, that's fantastic. And then they are firing inside. How is that? How is that possible? And then you're going up to fire, perfect. So we're gonna have someone on this tower here very shortly. We're up to 130 invaders. Oh my god. That's the biggest one so far. And now we have a kobold here. Excellent, and there's no more... I guess there are still a couple of ranged goblins up here. Yeah, just go for it. And see, they're shooting at us. Why does that make sense? And see, now you're gonna get hit too. I don't want to lose all of my... I don't want to lose all of my siege engineers. They should be safe behind the fortifications, right? Yeah, we've lost 2 siege engineers already. I'm probably gonna lose more. Yep, there's one. I feel like my hunch is that if I reload it would act differently. Because this has been inconsistent for us. We're still doing very good here though. But see, now we've lost 4. I don't feel like that should be how it works, right? Am I crazy for thinking they shouldn't be able to kill me through the fortifications? Flying creatures can of course fly over fortifications, but not through. If there is open space above, you can either carve out of walls or below. Build floor tiles, blah, blah, blah. Note that flyers can diagonally bypass a fortification if the tile above the fortification doesn't have a floor. Okay, sure. Enemy archers may also fire back through your fortifications. Enemies that stand directly next to your fortifications can fire inward. Therefore, it's recommended to build a moat around your fortifications or elevate them above ground level. Huh. Enemy elite bowmen and crossbowmen have sufficient skill to fire through your fortifications from any distance within their range. and they will shoot right through every time and likely decimate your forces. I am learning this for the first time. Elite bowmen can be defended against without compromising the usefulness of a fortification network by constructing a thin, one-tile-wide raising bridge just outside the fortification. Attach each bridge to a lever and pull the lever if an elite goblin poses a threat. Oh, and just, like, close it. Blocking bridge will cut off line of sight, prevent bolts from penetrating your defenses. Melee combat can cause severed body parts and their carried items to become struck inside nearby fortifications. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't think... they could fire in. Is this just a flaw in our defenses? This might just be a flaw in our defenses if they can come up right up to our fortifications like that. But it hasn't happened before. It hasn't been an issue up until now. We are still shooting. They're still... No, we're... Okay. There's only so many of them that can do so, right? So we're firing from our tower now. These ones should be much safer. So lesson learned, things should go up above ground. I mean, it's possible that they just had a bunch of elites, right? Like, this is just a normal goblin person. A normal boblin. They don't really have a lot of elite bow people, right? Accomplished. So if we were off the ground, we would probably be a lot safer. They just have to stand directly next to the spots to fire inward. Still 110 left. Jeez. But we are peppering them. Clearly one got in. Clearly a couple got in. Not without injury, though. And of course, you're gonna, like, just walk into our barracks here. Crawling into the barracks. Okay, I made it. I'm finally here. Open the door. Yeah. Didn't even make it through the doorway. Perfect. Okay, so they're all spread out now, which is nice. They're very spread out now. You are loading, so you're gonna start firing again shortly. They do just like to hang out here. I think we just got unlucky with their placement? Because that was like an ambush squad, right? Maybe it was just a bunch of ranged people happened to be directly adjacent to our bunkers here. Losing 4 people does suck, but that is kind of the nature of being sieged by 130 goblins, right? See, you are also... You are bleeding. Yeah, see, you've been... Flying Copper Bolt strikes the Goblin Hammerman. But see, you've also been shot at. Do they have elites? Flying Arrow, so definitely one of them, strikes Siege Operator in the foot. Artery's been opened. Copper Arrow strikes the Siege Operator in the claw. The fact that none of them have armor is also a thing, but I want them to be fast, right? I don't want to weigh them down with a bunch of metal armor. Maybe they need like a bunch of leather armor just to defend against the stray arrow that comes through. But like, are any of these elites? It's just accomplished. It's a lot of corpses. Sure are a lot of corpses, and then they're all just staying out here. We'll just wait until the goblins have taken care of it. So you are still loading. You are just like hanging out. But these are all melee, so that's fine. And then you are loading. Don't have anyone down here now, hilariously. Oh yeah, they're firing up. It's you. Accomplished bowman. See, this is not an elite bowman. Excuse me, Wiki. Enemies that stand directly next to your fortification could fire inward. Enemy elite bowmen and crossbowmen have sufficient skill to fire through your fortifications from any distance within their range. I mean, it seems like accomplished is enough. Yeah, oh man. Oh, died while loading. Died while loading the bolt thrower. Means there's now a giant pile of bolts here. Interesting. Okay. Well, they're gonna start filtering in here. Here comes the dragon. The dragon did not get shot at, apparently. But now the squads are gonna come and clean everything up. Now the actual trained professionals are gonna get involved. Yep, there they go. Okay, let's take our squads and have them progress out to here. Because they're clearly just gonna go for it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, just crawl in one at a time. That's totally fine. Down to 70. Now we're shooting here. We're shooting here. That's great. That's also great. That's also great. And now where'd they go? Where do squads go? They didn't come out. Okay. I'm gonna tell them to pull back if they can. Or are they just all in this square? They're all just all in this one square. I guess that's fine. Yeah, they just like hanging out. Yep. They're just an entire squad of goblins and polar bear people hiding around the corner. just waiting. They might get an opportunity to go back. Wow. We've sufficiently scattered them. I think we've lost 5. We've lost 5 so far. Curious why no one came back for these. Oh, and then you want to go around this way? Do I need to put someone over here too? That'll be a nice surprise. Yeah, there we go. Daka, daka, daka. Give me the daka. And then now they're all gonna go pull back. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. That is perfect. Make them fight all the way in again. Oh, and then oh, we lost a polar bear? Oh, we lost a polar bear. Not a polar bear person, but a polar bear. Must have just bled to death. Aw. Pour one out for Shizad. But they are successfully pulling back. You're drunk. Okay. Just don't get caught out alone. This is good. We're down to 55. This is going. They're just gonna try to come around and end up right back in range of this. This is quite the kill zone, I gotta say. I'm really happy with just... you are loading. Or no, you're supposed to be firing. Why don't you... Oh, there you go. Wrestler found dead. Oh no! No, that was a soldier. Oh, dang, that was one of our kobold soldiers. That's like one of our... It's a very rare actual militia death. Cheeselurk. Hello, Anthric. How's it going? We're getting invaded, but we're fending them off. We got so many bolt throwers. So we are losing quite a few. We've lost... Oh, dang. We've lost 7. Dang. We're gonna have to train some more. Oh, and they're like climbing over. Are we gonna have to rethink? But the fact that they're firing up at the top of our... We were having non-elite goblins fire into the top of our tower here, so I don't know if changing how our emplacements are constructed is actually going to change anything. I mean, that is working pretty well. I was going to read Left Hand of Darkness before my flight. Here I am watching. That's a great one. I have also read Left Hand of Darkness on a plane, hilariously. It's really, really good. Also not very long. Gonna say this hasn't gone well. This is one of the goblins' more successful endeavors. I will say that. They definitely haven't reached inside or anything, but losing that many siege operators is kind of painful, I will say. Look at the range on that. That is some incredible range. We're down to 28 invaders. I think we can send our squads out to clean up at this point. You're loading? You're loading. All the silly Mineras. Well, the fact that, we can successfully reload and get a second round of firing out of our bolt throwers mid-siege, right? That is quite significant. You are loading bolts from off the corpse. Good. Hooray. And then now you're just going to take out some Mineras. They're like on the roof. There's trolls on my roof! Trolls on the trade depot roof! Okay. I think... Jeez, Taka. I'm tempted to send out the squads to clean this up. There is literally only 8 left. And then you're gonna come around the corner and have a bad time. There you go. Oh, okay, well. Oh, there's some puke going downstairs now. We do have 3 injured citizens. So these are gonna be siege operators. Or even, are you even a siege operator? You're just a random person. Interesting. You are a siege operator, but I don't think that's your job. How did you get injured? You shouldn't have been involved in the fighting at all. You are a siege operator, but you're not designated as a siege operator. Interesting. Because I thought I restricted it. Only selected do this. We do still have several. We're down several though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Down to 12 siege operators? I want to say we had close to 20 at some point. So this has not been a great siege for us in the sense of everyone living, right? We've had sieges, slightly smaller sieges of like 110, where none of us died. And of course, these are 4 of the 5 that are left. Okay, so we should send our squad out. But we didn't even have to go outside to take care of this. And you. Confirm. Well, now you have something to do while you wait for the update to bug fix, to redo the defenses. Well, that's the question, right? Is there anything I can do to prevent that? Because the wiki says having them off the ground means only elite bowmen can shoot in, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Because over here, we had accomplished bow people shooting at the top of our tower and killed someone. So I don't know if it's like, is it safer to be higher up? If we just rose all of these up by 1 floor, would that fix things? Or would that help things at all? There we go. Siege done. Wow. Goodbye, elf. This visitor is ready to leave. Or is that a human? Looks like a human. Or no, you got elf ears. Yep, it's a human. Okay. That line on the wiki is at least 047 age. Plenty of changes to archery since then. That's true, especially with the siege update itself, right? Hello, hello, opposable thumbs. That's a great name. We have a bunch of goblin corpses. And some kobold corpses, unfortunately. I'm gonna say we don't need anyone on the siege engines except for this pair, which always has someone. Administrator? Ooh, oh, you're just remainders. Okay. Well, let's reclaim our corpses. We just lost like 7 people from inside our fortress. I don't like that. I definitely don't like that. We did annihilate them, right? Like, they didn't even get into our barracks. This was the furthest anyone got. They got into the door and then were annihilated immediately. So in one sense, that was a pretty successful defense, right? They didn't get inside, but they did kill us from the outside. Creature check. We have some albatrosses. We have 2 more magma crabs, in addition to our caged one, but they're just gonna be hanging out on the edge again. Our creatures don't like to really do much, do they? The albatrosses at least are out here. Live fairy, true. And fairies are weird. Or that we have one caught. We caught a fairy. It's just been in here in a cage for years. I'm gonna make sure we have enough tombs. So if we were to adjust our defenses, what would we do? I could raise those bunkers up a floor, but my confidence that that would fix things is quite low. Need to give that fairy some enrichment. We could put it in the zoo. Does hanging out with giant penguins count as enrichment? We're starting to need space for more. What was this? Oh, that's right. More tombs. I'm just gonna assume that there's aquifer in here. There's definitely gonna be an aquifer in here. Damp dig? Yes. Then we're gonna go like... Well, no. We'll have that go through. Might as well dig the rest of this. It'd be cool if I could set, like, yes, you can dig through aquifer, but automatically smooth. Oh, and then it only applied to some of that. Automatically smooth anything that you do dig that is wet. I think that would be convenient. Of course, that also. Splines. Kobold crafter using some spare stone cabochons as building blocks. Yeah, probably. There's a couple stones lying around, I think. So I'm gonna get all this dug in smooth, and then we're gonna clean up the surface, because holy cow, that's a lot of corpses. That seems fine. Doop, 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 doop. And then I'm going to say some of these can be used for pets. Because we have been losing some pets. Yup. Dang. I didn't realize we lost that many pets. Huh. I don't even remember having that many pets. What if it says we do? Smooth it all, smooth it all. Okie dokie. Oh. Doors for everyone. There we go. Now. Okay. Well, we're still above 140. We've been bouncing between 140 and 150, which is our cap. Oh boy. I cleared my civilian alert. Our squad's orders are removed. We need to find a replacement for this squad. Look at our melee potential. Find a peasant of some kind, a trapper. Sure. Can all just go update your equipment. And then I think that just leaves the cleanup. There's still you. Are you? Is someone to grab you? Someone please claim our dead. So I'm gonna open this door. Gonna start dealing with our garbage. At least dealing with the indoor garbage because it's gross. The outdoor stuff can sit around for a little bit. There we go. So we'll let them deal with all that. I'm gonna save because things have happened. I'm not happy about all the results of what happened, but that's Dwarf Fortress for you. We've been very lucky in this game in general about bad things not happening very often. Or at least not the bad things that you get surprised by. Because this game can throw things at you very quickly, but we've done pretty good, all told. Honestly, being sieged by 130 goblins and only losing 7 and 1 polar bear is pretty good. Maybe what we do, Maybe we don't change around the defenses themselves so much, but we make a bunch of leather armor for our siege engineers so that they're at least protected while they're in danger. Because I didn't realize they were in danger. I thought we were perfectly safe. Okay, I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick. You all keep an eye on the garbage disposal stuff. And apparently we're saving anyway. I should have just looked at the date. Oh well. Okay, well that was an adventure. That was an adventure. Not one we were entirely ready to go on, but you know. Challenge is fun? True. Yeah, well, I mean, losing is fun, right? That's the whole premise of losing is fun. If everything's going exactly according to plan, it's not really interesting. But now we have something that we have to deal with. The trick is you can't really assign uniforms to people who aren't in squads. So I would essentially need to create a squad or two for the siege engineers and assign them a uniform that includes leather armor. And then just not give them a schedule, right? I don't need them to train the martial skills. I want them to train siege operating, which is not technically what a squad does. And what comes with that is the inability to have cosmetic items. Because I want them to be wearing their uniform at all times because we're just going to get surprised by a siege at any moment, right? So I want them to have their armor on them. But I also want them to be able to grab amulets and rings and stuff, which soldiers don't really seem to be able to do. You're not a soldier. Right? Like, I'm telling them to wear togas and skirts. That's all you have. You are not in a squad. I'll find a kobold in a squad. Is there anything in here I care about? I don't think so. Though I'd... Fine. Yeah, I don't need to throw those things away. The rest of that is garbage, though. If no one's gonna come for it immediately, then I don't want anyone to get stuck in here while we're trying to dispose of things. Here, yeah, you can grab that. That's fine. Loading up that cart. Load it all up. Yep. Oh, wow. And there's just a bunch of copper bolts on the ground here. What happened here? What happened here? Make the siege barracks in the siege guild training and learning and demonstrating all in one room. There basically are. This is our guild hall. This is our training room. And these are the tunnels that lead to the bunkers. So in theory, like the siege engineers are like hanging out up here, right? We did have a siege operator demonstration happening at the time of the siege, but of course they just like continued their demonstration until they were done. But they were here. And this is our training range, and then the ammo is all down here. Aside from like we have little feeder bolt piles directly underneath each of the bunkers. And those have been working well. I have been liking that. They definitely empty out a bolt thrower, come down here and grab a bunch, and then come back up and load it. Like that part has been working. And then these two have someone on them at all times. About to start boarding. Okay, have fun. Make sure to check for creatures before end of night again. Sure, I can do that. My guess it's going to be albatross and magma crab. I do want to experiment with the magma crabs. I'm going to clean these up so we can lower our gate here. There's just a bunch of mudstone blocks. Alas, it's true. I think we are experiencing a couple of bugs here. I think at some point our world is just been around for a bit. Like we created this world during the adventure mode beta, just for context. There have been a lot of changes to this game in that time. Okay, this is all working. I'm gonna let them cook. And then we were working on this. And then yeah, okay. So when we last left, we were talking about flax, right? I do think I like flax here as opposed to here. I don't know that it goes at the top. I almost want to swap these three around and have two agate be the top. I also think that the browns are fine. Right? Did I do that? Correct. I have taupe dark at the bottom. Right? Wood opal. Or no, I do want to, I'm still going to move these around. Because I want Sard to go over. That's right. Okay. Happy sitting. Lying down as of 10 minutes ago. Excellent. Lying down is also fun. Okay. I'm going to make a couple of declarations here. Tell me if you disagree with any of my thoughts. I think these three at the top make sense, but I think I'm going to reverse their order. So this is the number one, this is number two, this is number three. I do think the yellow is out of place, but I don't know where it would belong. The dwarves are here, and their wagons went around because our door is still closed. Oops. I guess we'll just destroy all that. That's fine. It's fine. I will say colors don't often fit nicely together. I am discovering that, yes. And maybe, yeah, maybe we just put yellow at the top. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I might flop these two? What's going on here? The yellow does look a bit off. Not sure it goes anywhere else obvious. Yeah, that's my feeling. It's like it doesn't really belong anywhere. So sunstone is pumpkin, carnelian is rust, topaz is goldenrod. I might, and then honey yellow barrel is saffron. I might swap these two. Yeah. I'm gonna swap goldenrod and saffron. And then I'm gonna bring all this down by one, so we're gonna redo this entire level. So I want flax over here. Right, and I want to bring yellow on top. So yellow, flax, lemon, amber, golden yellow, goldenrod, saffron, rust, pumpkin. I think that makes sense. If you look at the green, you've got forest green and olive. I don't know how you quantify which is higher or lower than a bright grass kind of green. Right. It's like one diverges off towards brown and another towards blue. Right. I agree. I agree in principle. I mean, and at the end of the day, we're going for the best we can, right? Honestly, like even if we're just like grouping them closely together, maybe there's not a smooth gradient between them all, but like putting like by like, that's really the main thing, right? Grouping like with like. So red, I'm not going to touch much. I'm going to say the sard goes with the browns. The rest of these, I don't know. I'm kind of okay with. Right, Banfire Opal, Rose Quartz, Rhodolite, Sardonyx, Red Zircon, Red Tourmaline, Cinnamon Grossular, then we'll remove that, Banded Agate, and Fortification Agate. Okay. I think this is basically going to stay the same, except I'm removing Sard. I think these are going to stay the same, except I'm removing Flax. And then I'm going to swap dark brown with taupe dark. Right? I want to swap these two. But of course, since I'm removing that one, then I need to move these two as well. Okay. So then this one's getting removed, so then these two need to move up. I'm gonna redo this entire column. I'm gonna redo this entire column. And then green is moving around a lot as well, right? Aquamarine stays, Bloodstone stays, Brace, or is this already, this might be the new order. Aventurine, Moss Opal, Turquoise, Varsite, Emerald, smoky quartz, green, yellow, green. Or what was I missing? Because this is dark green. Green diamond, demantoid, chrysoberyl, smoky quartz. Yeah, okay. I just miscounted. So this is my new green order. I think that's kind of okay. I feel like this is darker than these. I feel like maybe swapping these two. I think these are fine. Like there's not a nice gradient between these, but like these three I think are more similar than the rest of them. If that makes sense. This is really... The greens are really all over the place, aren't they? Kind of feel like turquoise goes up here, maybe. There's a case, and I'm not saying to do this, but there's a case that you make the green 2 columns wide. True. True. I don't know where you'd make that split, though. Also, if it gets too wide, then it becomes a weird thing to... I mean, it is really tall just because of the greens. Because ideally, our screenshot is going to be zoomed in as much as it can, right? I think... I don't know if I can get all of it on screen, honestly. Though I would do like this. Can I, like, get rid of the UI? We could have a more olive green column. Yeah. Take the bottom few out. It's also hard to know where this one belongs since it's just broken. Yeah, it is a bit of a hassle, but we're hassling, right? In for a penny. I feel like this goes further up. Okay, well, we can at least get the yellows going back in. See how that looks. No, not closest. I want yellow, not yellow jasper. Wax opal. Fire agate. Tube agate. Picture jasper. Topaz. Honey yellow beryl. Carnelian. And sunstone. And then our reds, we have bandfire opal, rose quartz, rhodolite, sardonyx, red zircon, red tourmaline, cinnamon grosslers. Now it's just the last two. This is banded agate. And this is fortification agate. And then for browns, we have plume agate, onyx opal, faint yellow diamond. And then brown zircon. And brown jasper. And sard. And wood opal. And schorl. Okay. We're getting there. Oh look, migrants. Wow. We just can't keep them away, can we? We just got enough people to replace everyone who just died. We just got 7 more people. A miller, administrator, woodcutter, trader, trapper, spinner, tanner. Hello, hello. I'm just going to sleep right now, but I want to say hi. Hello. Hello, XM. How's it going? And with that, good night. Good night. Hello, goodbye. Yeah, so I think I kind of want to put our windows to rest. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. And by a lot, I mean there's just a bunch of garbage. In theory, I think we dumped a bunch of stuff, right? Yep, we dumped a load of stuff. So maybe I go ahead and open this up. And we'll let them start cleaning all that up. Must also sleep. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I think we're gonna make a couple last minute adjustments to our grid, and I'm gonna call it good, right? At some point, it's just fiddling for the sake of fiddling, right? So if you have any last minute thoughts, then pop them in Discord. But otherwise, I think we're just gonna put that adventure to rest. But yeah, come by Thursday, and there's gonna be more Dwarf Fortress. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good. Yes, especially when perfect is impossible. I think we're definitely at that, basically at that point, right? It's about as good as it's gonna get. I mean, that all seems fine. That all seems fine. Just corpses everywhere. What you could do... what you could do... Thinking of ways to prevent... Honestly, I don't even know if it would matter. I'm thinking of ways to prevent invaders from being directly adjacent to our bunkers, right? It does seem like they have an easier time firing inside if they're standing directly adjacent to a fortification. Obviously, we were seeing them fire further, right? There were goblins on the ground out here firing up into our tower here. So just distance isn't the answer, isn't the only answer. But a thing you could do is if you had a little emplacement, right? There's just a bunch of blocks. And the wiki was mentioning having like a drawbridge that could block line of sight. I guess you could have it on the inside as well, but I wouldn't want to put it on the inside because people can get stuck in drawbridges as they close and open, and that's just nasty. I think you'd want the drawbridge on the outside. But the first thing I was going to say was that you could have a drawbridge directly adjacent to your fortification, and then you could have pressure plates directly in front of the drawbridge, so that as soon as a goblin like stepped on, like approached, they'd push the button, and then that would raise the drawbridge, which would work. Would also have the fun side effect of probably launching a goblin. Like in practice, what you would have, like I'd have a single tile wide bridge here that opens away from the bunker, and then is down by default, but connected to a bunch of buttons. So as a goblin approaches, it presses the button, stands on the bridge closes, which just flings the goblin. And then because there's no more person standing on the button, the bridge just comes down a second later, ready for new goblin to walk up and get flung. I don't know if that's like the ultimate answer to our situation, but it does amuse me, and that's half the battle. This is looking pretty good. I do think I like this better. This whole bottom half of this column is identical to me, so I think we're doing okay. I think this one maybe could go up, but that's like really picking nits. These are all so close. This whole part right here is just identical to me. And the yellows don't look bad. Now, with all of these together, I almost feel like the wax opal looks green. I know it's not. I'd almost flip these around. This could even go like down here. And that's not bad. The mahogany does look a little bit red compared to the browns, but it also looked brown compared to the reds, so I think that's fine. This is generally pretty good. This is generally pretty good, I think. The greens are still weird. There's just too many greens. I do think these three belong together. I do think these three belong together. In that order, I don't know, but I think they belong groups together. This one is weird and doesn't really belong anywhere. I feel like these two are really similar. Maybe... I'm gonna try swapping these two. I'm gonna try swapping... What do I want to do? I'm gonna move this up. Or this... Yeah, I'm gonna swap these two around. So number 3 is spring green. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's turquoise. So I'm gonna put turquoise back up. I know that's where it was. See, I'm gonna swap Praise and turquoise. Also, think I'm gonna swap wax opal with tube agate. The amber next to the yellow? Yeah, I guess. I'm pretty happy with the browns. I'm happy as I'm going to get with the browns. I'm as happy as I'm going to get with the reds. The blues and the purples are fine. It's really the greens. It's the greens that are that are the thing now. Do I even trade with the dwarves? They don't bring good meat. I don't need gems. I'm not gonna bother trading with the dwarves. Let's check on down here. There is still aquifer. It's really not that bad though. Could be much worse. There are random tombs that have been completely flooded. Yeah, I guess that's gonna happen, isn't it? I'd have to mine all this out. No, I guess I do. Okay. What else are we working on? Where's our king? King is 94 years old, having a drink. Did you hear the one about the giant polar bear and the little penguins? Wow, that's very appropriate. That is the most appropriate joke I've ever seen. Usually it's about animals that have nothing to do with what's going on. So, now that we have seen all of the colors, we have all of the colors, we have all of the colors. Now we can go back to the thing we were working on 5 streams ago and make some decisions about our flag colors. I am still pretty happy with our NB flag, right? I'm going back to my little reference page. So what do I have here? The yellow. I have yellow zircon for the yellow, which I believe is yellow. Yellow zircon is yellow. Okay, so I have successfully made the yellow yellow. The white is white, the black is black, and then the indigo is what we have here. Whereas it should be purple? Is there a better purple? Would this be better? Would Violet Spessartine be better for the purple on the non-binary flag than indigo? And then we're We're also doing agender, which is like a light green. Of course, there's so many greens. Which of the green to use? Could be, I think it's one of these. Chrysoberyl? Is chartreuse? I don't know. Oh, the greens. The greens get me. The one we were really struggling with, the one I was really struggling with. So I think this is fine. I think transprite is fine. I think this is good as we're gonna get. This one is fine. We're doing bi here. So pink, purple, blue. So what purple should be the purple for the bi flag? That's really the question we should be asking ourselves. Maybe that's this one? Yeah, actually I think the violet spessartine is going to be good for that one. I don't think the others are better. Oh god, not a buy choice. The one you have clicked is pretty pink. This one right here. Because if this is pink, then I don't know what's more purple. I don't know, what would you say the purple for the purple is? Because the pink I'm using rose quartzes, which is called pink. Yeah, asking a bisexual to make a choice. That's really the problem here. Let's see if I can put these back. So the third one is going to be turquoise again. Nope, not that. Not that. And then that was race is the other one. And then over here, tube agate. And then wax opal. Bottom of the blues is a deep purple. See, that's what I think. I've been told that indigo is blue. But I also don't think that the bi-flag purple is not very deep purple. It's like a very pale purple. It's the only real purple I see. I agree with you. Maybe you're colorblind. Now you know how I feel. There aren't any good purples in this spectrum. Yeah, that's fair. That's also a distinct possibility. Also, hi. In that case, what is the least wrong, right? I know that I can see the numbers on the colorblindness tests. Well, there's also degrees of colorblindness. Like everything else, colorblindness is a spectrum. You can be just a little colorblind. Very particular on blues and oranges. Interesting. Oranges are weird. Are an interesting one to have trouble with. But I guess, I mean, the thing about, like, we talk a lot about red-green color blindness, right? Most colors have either some red or some green in them. The only colors that don't have either of those is blue, like just straight blue. That's one color. There's only one color that does not have any red or green. So being red-green colorblind affects everything, realistically speaking. I think I'm gonna say the bi-flag purple is violet. If only for the sake of putting something in there and seeing what it looks like. Because the bi-flag is like really, I don't want to say muted. It's not as muted as the trans flag. Also, how much violet spessartine do I have? I have some violet spessartine. If I want to do like twice as much. But I can do this, right? I can do 2 here. That probably didn't work. Say white. Because that's obvious, right? I don't know why it's like... it's inconsistent. There we go. And I did the exact same thing twice and got different results. That's how you go crazy. I'm really curious what the defining factor here is. Huh. Weird. Weird. What if I do white and then violet? Nope. I mean, like oranges and orange are, and most other things are more yellow or red to me, and likewise blue is royal blue or lighter shades, but quickly fades to green and purple otherwise, yeah. Actually, tangerines are true orange. I would agree. Though even just the phrase true orange is a whole ball of wax on its own. What is a true color? I mean, I guess you could see like true blue, true red, true green. But like true orange is kind of a tricky thing to define. When I think orange, I think like Broncos orange. What's the like cheapest? We have a bunch of races, right? Did that work? That might have worked. Even if I use 2 for all of these, it's not going to be enough. I think I've seen more downstairs. Maybe we just need to do some more digging. I was looking into getting to Dwarf Fortress. I bought it and it was just too overwhelming. Do you think I should give it another try? I think you should give it a try for forever. I am a bit biased because this is my favorite game. This is my favorite game. So take what I say with a grain of salt. It is definitely overwhelming, but that's also kind of the joy of it, right? Yes, there's a big learning hump at the start, and yes, it's a thing to get over, or like a hump to get over, and it's difficult. But once you start understanding how this game thinks and the systems involved, and then you're just like dealing with bugs and weirdness like we're doing right now, it's really enjoyable to be overwhelmed by this game, is how I feel. Usually. It is usually. I mean, it depends on what kind of game experience you're looking for, right? If you want a game where you barely have any control over what's going on and you're just kind of like watching things play out, and if everyone dies and everyone dies, this game is great. If you get annoyed when things don't go your way, then maybe this isn't the greatest game. But if you're okay with like a game throwing you a curveball and you having to deal with it, this game excels in that. You will get a curveball every day. I learn something new every time I play this game, and I've been playing for like 13 years. Every single time I pick it up, I learn something new. I've learned new things today. And if you somehow learn everything, then the game will update and there will be things for you to learn. And you make like pretty things. Usually, when it cooperates. Why? I am confused about this. Maybe we just need to find more. That is so strange. If I go white, violet, white. Nope. Just let me pick. Just let me do it on purpose. You'd think I'd have a 2/3 chance if I put 2 purples in there for it to be purple. But it certainly doesn't seem that way. I'm confused. I just need more. We just need to find more. Down to the mines. I think we've gotten everything out of here. We were doing the marble. We were down here. Let's just do auto. Auto everything. I think we've dug out most of the interesting things on this level, but... Yep. Nothing new. My first game half my starting party was Murdered by Carp. Classic. Carp are pretty deadly, oddly enough. So many ways to make Dwarf Fortress fit what you want to play, absolutely. The modding scene is huge. So once you know what you're kind of looking at, you can make this game be a lot of different things. Bought it at first because I always have been very excited about like colonies and stories and characters, but every time I play it, I feel there's something I'm not seeing, and that will screw up everything I did so far. yes to everything you just said. And that's kind of the nature of it, right? Like it's a story generator. It will just sit here and make things happen. And sometimes the story that you get is like exactly what you envisioned. And then other times it's like I don't know, it kicks over your sandcastle. You just kind of, it's one of the things that you kind of get yourself into with this game is accepting that you can lose everything very quickly. But then, like, nothing's lost permanently, right? Unless someone dies. People who die are gone permanently, unless you want to resurrect them, but then they're different. Anyway, what I mean is, even if your fortress falls, even if you get ambushed by a whole bunch of goblins and everyone dies, you get kicked out of the fortress, but the fortress is still there. You can try to come back and reclaim the fortress. You can come back in adventure mode and try to kill goblins in adventure mode. There are ways for you to deal with even total failure, complete failure, you can still interact with. And that's something that you don't get out of a lot of games. Oh, I don't want to deal with Aquifer. I don't want to deal with Aquifer stuff. If I'm looking for violet spessartines specifically, let me see where the violet spessartines are. They are in metamorphic layers and within granite. Okay, so we should look for granite. This is granite. This is orthoclase. This is granite. Let's just do some mining on this level. I do want horizontal. I want them quite spaced out. Yeah, let's do that. Is it smart to just play it and see what happens, or do you think it's better to stick with tutorials and guides to play better? That's probably up to you. Probably depends on how frustrated you get with not knowing things. If the thing that is preventing you from enjoying the game is not understanding what's happening, then I would say do a little bit of tutorial watching or reading. Just to kind of get a sense of the things that you don't understand. Or maybe like play the game and then you go, oh, I don't understand what's happening here, then look up a tutorial for that specific thing in that moment. I think if you try to sit down and learn everything without a tutorial, I can talk. If you try to go completely without tutorials, you'll probably get frustrated. If you try to watch every single tutorial without playing, you'll probably get frustrated. So I would say do a mix. That's my instinct, at least. Like play for a bit naively and make mistakes, and then things go wrong, and then go, okay, why did things go wrong? Do some research about what happened, or even as it's happening, right? Like I have the wiki open every time I'm playing this game. Like, literally every time I'm playing this game. And yeah, and the wiki is great. There's a very good wiki for this game. You don't necessarily need to be reading very verbose tutorials or watching very verbose tutorial videos. Frequently, I'll just be in a position where I'm like, oh, I want to get clothing going or paper. Like there's certain industries where I've done them many times. Like I've set them up many, many times over the years. I understand them at a base level, but the details all slip out, right? There's a bunch of different jobs that need to go in. They need to work in the right order. Do I need to, like, what do the jobs, like the work orders actually look like between pulping and the screw press and the paper making and the book binding? Like some of the industries have a bunch of little bits to them, and the wiki is great for just like listing them out and just acting as a reference. And then if you don't understand what the wiki is saying, then maybe finding a tutorial that talks about it a bit more. But you shouldn't need to just watch every tutorial. Back when I learned, this is way back in the day. Back in the day, I did learn with a real big tutorial. And the real big tutorial that I used to learn is no longer relevant. That was so long ago that the game is different. This is a different video game almost entirely from what I learned on. So I have the benefit of I learned like a third of this through tutorials. And then the rest of it I learned as the releases happened, as new game was developed and patches were made, new systems were added. I just had to learn those one at a time. Like I just had to learn hospitals all at once because we got a hospital patch, right? Hospitals didn't really work for a long time. Soap was a theoretical exercise for a very long time. And then soap started working, and then we had to learn how to use soap. So I have that benefit. Tell me about training and breeding your polar bears. Oh, these guys. Oh, and I didn't read your other thing. There's a thing you will miss, and you will learn to not miss it next time, and then you will miss something else. Yep. And then once you learn not to miss the normal things to miss, you will get caught up in breaching the aquifer and building an ocean sieve trap for whales and mermaids, and once again forget to track your alcohol industry and have a tantrum sparkle. Yes, exactly. Exactly. It's a bunch of spinning plates. This fortress right here is very well established. We've been here for 20 plus, maybe verging on 30 years in game. So we've worked out a lot of the kinks at this point. But yeah, like you'll be working on like a big mega project, building a pyramid on the surface because you want to, and then realizing, oh look, something has been stagnating in the background. This problem has been developing for months in game, and I've just been ignoring it, and now I have a slight emergency to deal with. Like that is core game loop. Forgetting about something and coming back to it when something wrong has happened. Pink tourmaline. Hooray. Oh yeah, like this. Our clan leader demanded a bronze statue. I made a bronze statue. I didn't put it there. You want it in your... Where do you want it? Your dining room? Which is this one? One bronze statue. There you go. For me back in the day too, it was playing and reading articles on the wiki, yeah. Yeah, there was like a really well done tutorial. I don't even remember who did it now. But I want to say it was a series of videos, but this is like, don't try to go find the ones that I found because the game is so different now. I'm gonna try not to annihilate someone with my bridge here. There we go. That was nice. What was I gonna say? No, that I want just normal. Oh, I see what I'm doing. Goodness. Goodness, goodness. Okay, there we go. And speaking to making the game be what you want to be, so we are on a joyous wild glacier. Because I wanted to be. Because our world has 2 good aligned biomes total, and one of them's a lake, and one of them's a glacier. So we came to the glacier. Because I wanted to be on a funky biome, right? Or a funky alignment. And one of the things that we found, like we have Yetis. We have a pretty frequent Yeti problem. We have a giant penguin zoo. So because we are a savage biome, we get giant versions of creatures. Because we are in a glacier and a tundra, we get those creatures. So we just had groups of giant polar bears wander onto the map, right? That's just a thing that happens. Like we've been getting albatrosses. Our albatrosses have been hanging out by our windmills, or maybe not. Where'd they go? Albatrosses are over here now, I guess. Why is there a bunch of stuff on the edge of the map here? That's interesting. Something that's funny about bears in this game. I believe this applies to all bears. But there's a number of different types of animals that like to steal your stuff. Like kias, birds, like tropical birds, and monkeys are really notorious for like wandering onto your map and grabbing something off that's lying on the ground and running off with it. Kias will just take something and run off with it, or fly off with it. Bears really like to steal your alcohol. So if for instance, we disassembled at this point, but if for instance you have a little stockpile with barrels of alcohol sitting on the surface of your embark, and you surround it with cage traps, you'll just acquire some bears, as long as there's bears in your biome. But if a bear wanders onto your map, it's gonna go, oh, there's some alcohol nearby. I would like to chug a barrel of alcohol. And then it ends up in a cage trap. And then from there, it's just breeding, right? We have domesticated them at this point, which is just fantastic. We have a lot. We have too many. We've actually been eating them. But we've domesticated the giant polar bears, which is just a process of taking a breeding pair of wild bears, wild anything, and training them and getting them to reproduce while trained. And then the babies are born partially trained. And you do that for a couple generations, and eventually you get domesticated polar bears, or domesticated whatevers. We're even working on like our overall civilization knowledge. Like we've also been doing a little bit of cave dragon stuff and other fortresses. We're playing a mod. We're playing a kobold mod, so we come with domesticated giant cave spiders just out of the gate. We are experts at giant polar bear training. We're pretty knowledgeable at giant penguins. We're kind of familiar with giraffes. That's from a different fortress as well. So we've been accumulating cultural knowledge about training our polar bears. But hilariously, basically the same story applies to the polar bear people. It really only happened once. There was like, early on, there was a group of polar bear people that wandered onto the map. And they just kind of wandered on, and then they wandered off. And then they came back. And then we trapped them in some cages with some booze. Tactic also works for certain humans I know of. Me too, thanks. All that to say, the reason we have polar bear people citizens is because I used DF hack. By default, they would not just join the fort. These are wild animal people. But you can use DF hack to say, I want that to be a citizen now. So we did that with our caged polar bear people. I put 4 of them in a squad. So we have a squad of 4 polar bear people and 1 kobold leader, and then a squad of 10 kobolds. But the polar bear people have been very diligent about training. So Mr. Rithul here is level 100 plus legendary fighter, level 100 plus legendary observer, level 80 legendary maceman, legendary dodger, legendary striker, legendary armor user, legendary discipline? Like, this is a beast. You become legendary at a skill when you hit 15, right? And then they just keep going. They just keep going. Look at all this experience. So we have been very well defended because of these 4 very well trained, very well equipped polar bear people. In no small part because they're gigantic. Like, size counts for a lot in this game. Our kobolds are at a disadvantage in a lot of fights because they're so small. It's hard to hit them because they're very dexterous and dodgy. But it can be hard for them to bring down something that's much larger than themselves, unless they get lucky. But a polar bear will just rip the head off of a goblin, no problem. And it's glorious. It is so good. This fortress has lived because of the polar bear people. Where am I? I want to make sure that this gets closed without killing anyone. But we're gonna wrap up here shortly. So I think I need to take another look at my gym windows. Right? How do we feel about this? I still feel that this isn't perfect, but this is pretty dang close. I think the yellows are fine. I don't think the yellows are perfect, but I think they're fine. I think the reds are fine. I think the browns are fine. I think the grays are fine. I think the blues and purples are fine. The green is the only one that I have hesitation about, but I also don't know what to do about it. So I might just leave it. I might just call it good. I don't know. If you're just joining us, my intent here is like, this is all the colors. This is all the colors of gems. These are all the kinds of windows you can make. So I want to put this on the wiki. So I was trying to make a useful reference for it all. I think the green one is the only one I'm not entirely happy with. I think I might call it good, though. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's gonna be good enough. I think this is what it is. I'm gonna do a count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. 54 colors! That's how many there are. The greens definitely have variation, but I can only imagine splitting them into yellow, green, and blue, green, and that doesn't sound fun. I agree. Would it be useful? Would it benefit the graphic at all? Or is it, at that point, are we just splitting hairs for the sake of splitting hairs? If someone else is more motivated than me, they are welcome to acquire all of the colors, because this, just getting all of them was the hard part. Worst case scenario, we can just have this save file. We can come back to it and make adjustments if we really want to. Colors are still there on display. This is a helpful tool. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, just having them is really the thing. I do think it's useful to have them grouped generally by hue or whatever. But I think this is going to be about as good as it gets. So yeah, I think we did it. We made our gems. We made our windows. We also made our adamantine armor. We have basically a full set of adamantine armor here for the size of a polar bear person. I am tempted to redo the breastplate just because it's the only thing that's not exceptional. And then we would have enough for a male shirt as well. I don't know if that's really necessary. I could make like a couple of adamantine helms. I couldn't make a whole lot of breastplates. Breastplates are expensive. There's only enough for 2 breastplates here. We could make several helmets. Anyway, I think we're pretty good. I love this fortress. I do love this fortress. I think we're gonna pause here. I think we're gonna wrap up here for the day. If I can find my mouse, I probably shouldn't leave it running. I'm gonna come back in and take a screenshot for things afterwards. So, whatever. Oh, hey, it's Tofu again. The cat swapped without me even noticing. Yeah, that is it for me today. If you have, I don't know if who was asking questions. I don't know if you're still here, Gastomate. We do have a Discord. We have a Dwarf Fortress channel in the Discord. Questions are welcome. Yeah, so if you just want to have someone to chat with about, or ask random questions about, or even just like point me in the direction of the wiki article that's relevant, or the tutorial that's most relevant, like, we can help out with that. Links are down there. Otherwise, I will be back on Thursday. Come by on Thursday later this week, same time. We're gonna keep going. The fort keeps on going, right? There are still a couple more things I want to do here. I am gonna make a sauna. That's gonna be maybe our capstone achievement here. Is a hot bath. Because that'll be interesting. We've been debating and experimenting this entire fortress about how to make steam reliably, and failing with every single one. But I think I have tempered my expectations enough that I think I know of a way to do what I want to do. So that's gonna be what we do next. And also our king is like probably within a year of dying of old age, And I kind of like, we're the capital. We're a mountain home. The king is here. The king is very old. I kind of want to see the king die and pass on the torch. I've never seen that happen inside a fortress. So that's what I want to do. Anyway, today's episode is brought to you by Windows. So many Windows. And my viewers like you, clicking on all the buttons down there, hanging out with us live, hanging out in Discord, hanging out in VODs, wherever you want to hang out. That is your window to the world. And you are my window. You are the thing that I am looking through right now. I appreciate being here. I hope you come by for more. I hope you have a good rest of your week. And I hope you stay kind.